Hello, happy Saturday. I got dressed up today, did hair and makeup, so I thought, you know what, let's do a market update video. It doesn't happen very often. So I thought I'll do a market update and then I'll also talk about the importance of the home buying process for anybody who is starting to think about wanting to purchase a home. To kind of explain the Phoenix market, prior to everything that happened with COVID-19, we had a housing shortage. So much so that when I was putting offers in on properties, anything under $600,000, pretty much always had multiple offers, some of them 10, 11, 12 offers on them, which gets very difficult, right? And very frustrating for a buyer. Then we kind of had COVID-19 crisis come and things sort of died down. Sellers got weary of selling, buyers were nervous to buy, everything sort of came to a halt for the most part, unless the transaction was already going on and they were already pretty much through everything. Now, as of May, things have started to pick right back up to where they were before, if not worse. And I'm doing this video so that people can kind of understand, or you can share with somebody who wants to buy, how important it is to follow the steps of the home buying process. I field 1 to 5 calls a day from people calling from third-party sites who, just want to go take a look at a house. And I will tell you this, before COVID-19, people didn't want people in the house that they didn't know could buy the house, right? Now that we have all these other precautions and things in place, if you're living in a home with your kids or your elderly grandparents or someone that lives there, you really don't want anyone in your home unnecessarily that you don't really know can purchase that home. It's also not a good use of your time if you want to buy, because what's going to happen is, even if you go and look at a property that's absolutely beautiful, that photographs well, that shows well, that you fall in love with, and then say, oh, now I'm going to go get pre-qualified, I will bet you money that by the time you get through your pre-qualification, that property is already under contract by somebody who is a step ahead of you and had all their ducks in a row. So I wanted to go over the process in Arizona. I mean, I ran the numbers in MLS so that I could see days on market for May were 41. That was the average days on market for a single family home in Maricopa County under $500,000, which is pretty much where most people are shopping. If you don't know, there's 2 main types of ways to purchase in closings. You have cash, which can take about 12 to 15 days, just depending on how quickly inspections go and get done and how fast title's moving. And then you have a finance, which is usually 30 to 45 days, unless for some reason the buyer or seller needs something extended. So knowing that the average closing for a finance property is 34 to 45 days, houses are closing or off the market in 41, you don't have a lot of time to work with. Most houses that photograph well and that show well are going on the market and under contract in 24 to 48 hours. So that being said, if a house hits the market Thursday evening and then Friday has showings all day long, and you're one of those people that goes to look but doesn't have your pre-qualification, you'd be hard pressed to get that in time to be able to submit an offer that seller would consider ahead of all the other offers that have been pre-qualified. In the state of Arizona, we cannot submit an offer on a property, no matter how much you fall in love with it, without having that proof of funds for cash or pre-qualification, Arizona pre-qual from a lender. That being said, I just wanted to give you the process that really you should follow to save yourself a lot of headache when you're deciding to buy a home. Step 1 is to get pre-qualified. Reach out to a real estate agent for lender referrals. Go online, search for someone. You go to your bank, go to your credit union, get the process started, get the pre-qualification. Then you go look at homes. You either get set up in a search, or you have homes that you've been keeping an eye on and maybe they happen to still be on the market. Then you get in touch with your real estate agent and go look at those properties. And then when you find the house you love, you're able to submit an offer and you have all of the documentation that you need to get to that, to give to that seller when you present your offer. It does not do anyone any good to put the cart before the horse. I promise it will never end well. And then the other thing that I was going to just explain is that everyone always thinks that they're going to get pre-qualified and they know how that's going to go. If you've never purchased a home before, or if you purchased a home 25 years ago, things have changed a lot with lending and regulations in that time. You're going to go through some hoops that maybe you didn't go before or you didn't realize were there. You're going to have to provide some documentation that maybe 20 years ago you didn't necessarily have to provide. So when an agent asks you, have you been pre-qualified or have you gone through that process, it's not because we don't think you're going to be able to afford the house. It's because we want you to make sure that you have everything you need to get that done, because I would hate to take you out to look at a house that you fall in love with and then either the pre-qual come back too low, or then now nothing's going to measure up to that house that we looked at that you fell in love with at first, or you decide that once you see that pre-qual payment that you don't want to make that monthly payment. It's way higher than what you had anticipated now that we factored in the HOA and taxes and everything else on that property. And also, you know, if you go out and you look before you get your pre-qual and then someone swipes it out from under you every single time, it's going to get very frustrating. So I'm going to let you in on a really big secret. I field 1 to 5 calls a day from third-party sites. I'm not going to list them, but sites that people very traditionally are pre-shopping on before they go do anything. These sites are a direct feed from what we real estate agents use called the multiple listing service. They're very user-friendly, but they're not accurate. They're delayed. A property can go active in the MLS Thursday and not show up on these sites until Friday or Saturday, I've seen. The status is inaccurate, meaning it shows as active, but really it's already under contract. So it's like, if that's what you're using, you're constantly chasing after something that's never really going to be available. You need to have a direct feed set up with a real estate agent so that the second those properties that fit your criteria hit the market, you can get out there, go look at them, and have your offer written within hours of it hitting the market, because that's really, to be quite frank, is the only way you're going to get ahead of everybody else. So it was over 5 minutes. I'm very sorry, but it is important information, and I hope that it does help someone out there that is thinking about buying a house this year. I hope everyone's staying healthy and safe, and have a great weekend. Bye.